I think I've found a tiny little gem here. So I kept seeing this for around a fiver. They have it on in the UK on Savers, but apart from that, you can get it on eBay. And this is Orla Kiely's perfume. I think it looks like this might be the only perfume that Orla Kiely ever did. And I assume it's not in production anymore because you don't seem to be able to actually get like the bigger bottles unless you get them on eBay. So you can only get these little 25 mils. Anyone who knows Orla Kiely, I should say, will recognise this kind of design because this is very much her aesthetic. These are the kind of designs and patterns she does. She was hugely famous and popular maybe 10 years ago. On the back of this it says, a charming light floral fragrance with natural extracts of rose, geranium and bergamot, subtly balanced with the fresh fig and a hint of chocolate. Again, you will at some point see my chocolate perfume videos, and I keep managing to find things that are chocolate perfumes again after I've filmed it. But so this is the bottle, and this is the 25ml bottle, and these are the ones that you can still get. So this perfume, I was like, it's only a fiver. Obviously you have to pay for postage and stuff, so it's a little bit more expensive than that. But if you're going to do, like, I massively recommend Savers if you're in the UK, because you can get stuff from there for super cheap, and these are £4.99 I think on there. So the notes in this one, I looked at them and I was like, I'm obviously going to have to try that, and you'll know why. First note in the top notes, tea. Next note, fig, peach and bergamot. Middle notes, rose, Mexican chocolate, geranium, osmanthus and white flowers. Base notes, cedar, musk, tonka bean and sandalwood. Now, sometimes I struggle with fig perfumes because sometimes I find they smell a bit dirty on me, or they just smell a bit masculine. This is definitely neither of those things. And peach and rose is sometimes a weird combo, but again, that's not a problem in this perfume. I'm surprised at this one. Because realistically, the only note in here that I was like, it could totally ruin it for me, genuinely, is the cedar. And I don't really get much cedar. I find this a bit more sandalwoody. Now, you get more of the cedar in the deep dry down, but you sort of have to really sniff it. And to be honest, this is a bit of a skin scent, which is why it's so up my street. But so when I first tried this on my skin, I was like, oh no, I'm not going to be able to wear this. And the reason is that I think the white florals in this smell, when they come through, are a bit buttery. Just spray a tiny. Oh. First spray though, you really get chocolate. You really get that chocolate, but it's so light, it's gorgeous. Definite dark chocolate with a kind of, I'd say in a way I get a very small amount of bergamot, a little bit of fig, but it's very fresh, and some geranium. That's what that smells like to me, that first bit, and then like the tea. So it's watery and fresh, but you definitely get that chocolate in that first spray, despite it not being in the top notes. I think, in fact, the Mexican chocolate and geranium come straight through. And it's very pretty. I really, my goodness, that was a very loud motorbike, scooter. It's really lovely. I was like, oh yes please. And then it's not linear, this perfume. It moves through different stages. So the next stage of it is kind of when the white flowers comes through. Now, it doesn't say what's in them, but I would be willing to bet that there's gardenia in this, because it has that. Sometimes gardenia in perfumes goes really buttery to me, sometimes slightly powdery, and I don't like a buttery gardenia at all. I like soapy gardenias, but not buttery. And one of the people in the reviews of this one on Fragrantica said that on her it smells like there's coconut in it, and I think maybe that is coming from those white florals, and that's what I mean. It's probably gardenia, because I think it can be slightly powdery, slightly creamy, and very buttery. So I can kind of see when it starts drying down into the more white floral scent, why someone might say it's always coconutty. But that's relatively fleeting stage. That's not like the dry down of it. You don't keep that in the dry down. In the dry down, to me, you get you the chocolate. The chocolate kind of calms down when you're getting like a bit more rose, a bit more white flower, a bit more peach. Very, very watery, subtle peach, not at all syrupy. This definitely has a sweetness, but it's not cloying. It's really bright, it's really fresh. And then in the very deep dry down, I'm just going to sniff my arm. There, yeah, you do get a little bit of cedar, but that's where the tonka bean and the osmanthus comes through. In fact, I'd say there's something about this that reminds me of the Hugo Boss Scent for Her, but particularly like Pure Accord. Now that's a very osmanthus forward perfume, and osmanthus is quite peachy, apricotty, that kind of smell. But it's very light, it's very pretty, it's like a really kind of sweet springtime floral. Osmanthus is so pretty. So that with just a hint of that tonka bean is really very nice indeed. And this is just such a nice little perfume. It's definitely a little hidden gem. It's for such a kind of cheap scent, it's not at all linear. I think it's quite interesting. It's got quite a cool little bottle as well, and also it's a really nice size to be able to kind of test out whether you like it or not. So I decided not to get a second-hand one, one of the bigger bottles, when you can get this for a £5, because it's perfect size for me, because I'm not going to wear it all the time. But I'd say if you like a stronger perfume, you definitely have to overspray this one. But if you're a skin scent person like me, then this is it's going to leave a very slight scent trail. You'll be able to smell it on yourself, but it's not super strong. And it's got such a the chocolate comes back in the dry down, in the deep dry down. You get that chocolate coming back in again, and mixed with the tonka bean and the osmanthus, it's just so pretty. It's really nice. Sweet, fresh. The tea gives it that slight aromatic kind of vibe. The fig stops it being too like peachy and sweet and cloying, The fig gives it that lovely kind of slight green fruitiness, but it's not like a dirty fig. It's not like dark, it's still bright. It's much more green than it is kind of syrupy, Really, really nice. So I massively recommend this one. I'm just checking that there's nothing else I needed to say about it. So the votes on it: tea's at the top, fig, peach, rose and chocolate. And I just disagree with that. I think you get the tea and the fig, definitely, but you get quite a lot of chocolate with this one. It's subtle, it's not powdery, it is like a little nibble of a piece of dark chocolate. And it's not sickly. It's quite impressive they've managed to do this. And I get way more osmanthus than rose, way more. And way more of the white flowers than rose. In fact, I don't find this massively rosy, to be honest. You can kind of smell it, but it's not, I wouldn't describe it as rosy. Now, interestingly, the top comparison for this one is Christian Lacroix Bazaar, which is a perfume I've wanted for ages, and I think I might just bite the bullet and get it. Because it has been discontinued, but I've seen it a few places for really cheap. And that one's also compared to In Love Again by YSL, which is one of my favourite perfumes, the current version of it. Anyway, whereas I imagine Bazaar smells more like the OG, but and I can kind of put this in a similar realm to In Love Again, in that it's bright and it's sweet and there's greenness, but there's also a little bit of wood, there's a little bit of fruit, there's a little bit of flowers. It's got that, it's kind of that, in terms of like heavy and light perfumes, it's that same kind of vibe as In Love Again. Now, the other things it gets compared to, some of the Cerruti 1881 flankers that I haven't smelt, so I can't comment, but it doesn't smell like Cerruti 1881, which is one of the things it's compared to, and I love that perfume, and I have it, and it doesn't smell anything like this. That one is like sweet and creamy and cozy, and this one is bright and fresh and summery, and it's a happy fragrance. That's what people have said, and I totally agree. There's something about this that's very happy and just really pretty. Probably a really easy wear, unless there's any of those notes I've said that you just really don't like. Can you hear the drilling again? It's non-stop, it's constant drilling on my street. I wasn't joking when I said someone's demolishing their house. Actually, someone's building a tiny house in between two of the houses, which is insane. I mean, yeah, it's going to be very long and thin, very strange. But anyway, yeah, I guess I'll sign off now because it's getting horribly noisy. But yeah, so I really recommend this. I think that this is a really nice perfume. This is the box to look for. I think it's really pretty, really nice indeed.